Very cool. Hey everyone, thanks for joining. John here, software engineer with about 10 years of experience. We are working on something called Aria's Tale, which is a generative AI experiment in narrative building, role-playing, and game development. Just got done with a play session. So playing like a tabletop RPG with my siblings. You can see the YouTube video. There's the Aria's Tale playlist, which includes play sessions and web development or game development, technical development. It has all those videos in it. I'll go ahead and show you that. Here it is, Programming with John, Aria's Tale playlist. So you can check that out. Here's the play session, about an hour and a half. So what we're doing in this video is taking that game log. So when you play with GPT, that produces a game log, and formalizing it into narrative. That's one thing we're doing. And that's basically how the Aria's Tale book series is created. So it's an emergent narrative that's generated by players and by the chat. And so we're consolidating that into the actual narrative. So we'll be taking this and then turning it into this. So for example, I wrote chapter 7 already, and there's going to be a bit more. So that's one thing we're doing. Another thing that we are doing is updating the encyclopedia appropriately, because we want to log the notable characters and so forth. And then we also need to improve our character JSON. So this will eventually get turned into structured SQL, but at the moment it's JSON files. And here, for example, you can see it says tank level 4. Well, that's not quite right. So tank as a character in the narrative has existed at a number of levels at different points in time. So we need to fix that. Here it says that he's level 4 when he was in the shield bearers, which might be true. We'll think about it. But at the latest point of the narrative, the shield bearers don't exist anymore. And at the first part of their narrative, the shield bearers don't exist. So this doesn't work as a universal statement of tank. This is like a point in time snapshot. So we need to break it out into multiple points of time. And those will correspond to different playing cards. So in addition to the narrative, there are also images. And we'll go through some images. We might keep some of these and we might not keep some of these. And they become playing cards for the TCG aspect of Aria's Tale. So Aria's Tale is a narrative universe, a role-playing game, and a TCG. It's all of the above. Okay, so I think that sets the stage for what we're doing. And now I'm going to sort of dive in one step at a time. The first thing I wanted to do was trim the encyclopedia image ID column, because we're moving images to the database. So they will not be in this encyclopedia CSV anymore. And I think I've got all of them, so we'll stage that. By the way, if you're on TikTok, we're also streaming to YouTube and Twitch. Link is in my bio. Okay. Based on this, okay, let me attach this. Consider the attached encyclopedia. Encyclopedia file based on the latest narrative updates. Add rows as necessary. Robert says, thinking diff entries based on point in time or age modifiers depending on how far you go into the story. Yeah, I think that's right. So they're the same age, right? Across the first 10 chapters of the story, there have not been multiple years. So unless we're doing like fractional age, but we are able to reference point in time by just referencing the chapter. And I think we'll definitely do that. So that's kind of like an age. And then also the level itself is kind of a point in time, but that's blurrier. I think the chapter is going to be more specific. It is tricky though, because you can have a character who is one level earlier in the chapter and a different level later in the chapter, but that's okay. I think if we get that much precision, that would be what I call like a good problem to have, because we're already being extremely precise at that point, which is great. RSL RPG, and we're uploading the public data file, the encyclopedia CSV. Cool. Thanks for being here, y'all. Okay, so chapter 7 is the Harpy battle, and then what happens next? Eidolon's group absolutely clobbers these goblins right here. So chapter 8 is 2 adlays. Maybe like meeting the collector of adlays, the collector. What? This is not good. So it misinterpreted it. This is going to be a terrible CSV, isn't it? Okay. Nice. I think of stat modifiers at theoretical months past. Yep, that could make sense. What about having additional JSON for events as part of care dict? That is a good idea. Yeah, let's see. Almost like those are buffs, right? Like notable events are kind of buffs. I think so. I mean, I guess basically we're talking about making the relationship bidirectional. So already the notable events are in the chapters, right? Already the notable events are in the chapters, and the chapter will include various characters. But yeah, we can make that relationship bidirectional so that you can say like, this character was featured in these chapters for sure, for sure, for sure. I think I'll wait for the sequel to do that, because the sequel will make that easier. Like the SQL, I mean, the structured approach instead of the JSON. In their relentless quest to resurrect Johann, the Elementalists and the Order of the Azure Lily embark on a joint venture from the town of Echoes to the mystical village of Adlaze. Their journey marked by lush landscapes of evergreen. The lush landscapes of evergreen and the anticipation of the unknown brings them to the doorstep of an enigmatic figure known simply as the Collector. I mean, you can give him a name if you want to. We just never did. Adlaze, a serene elven village known for its deep connection with nature, welcomes the group with its tranquil ambience. Nestled in the heart of the village is the Collector's Shop, a treasure trove of rare artifacts, ancient tombs, and mystical relics. Here, Idlin and his companions seek the elusive Tomb of Resurrection, hoping it holds the key to restoring Johann. The Collector, an elderly elf. I don't actually know that we ever declared he was an elf. Well, that's fine. I mean, GPT has the right to declare that now. Okay. The Collector, an elderly elf with a profound understanding of magical artifacts, greets them with a mixture of curiosity and caution. He reveals the existence of the tomb, but with a solemn warning. The power to resurrect comes with significant risk. Seeking alternatives, Idlin inquires about other means of resurrection. The Collector speaks of powerful healing magic wielded by mages in distant cities, mysterious artifacts scattered across Evergreen, and risky pacts with celestial beings or devils. He advises visiting major cities for further assistance, where knowledgeable mages and scholars might aid their quest. Amidst these revelations, the Collector offers a glimmer of hope. A local elven healer skilled in nature magic might aid in the resurrection with the tomb's assistance. Robert says, do you have GPT prompted to save each character backstory as they are introduced? No, I don't. So the problem, you're probably already realizing this, right? The problem is that GPT has a limited amount of memory, basically. So what I need to do is I need to periodically save. And that's basically what the Aria's that's basically what this entire web application does. Is we'll do a play session, and then we need to save sort of the results. And so we save those results in a variety of forms, in narrative form, in image form, in structured data form. And then I, as the sort of prompt engineer, have to remind GPT-4 occasionally and appropriately. Does that make sense? Okay, however, this requires the rare herb Eloria's Whisper from the Whispering Glove. It's not quite accurate. I'll revise that. The Collector asks them to obtain Eloria's Whisper. It's not that the ritual requires Eloria's Whisper. As the group contemplates this new quest, Idlin presents a magical teapot gifted by Jacob the Merchant. The Collector identifies it as an enchanted item of endless refreshment, capable of producing healing teas. Discovery adds a touch. I don't like this, whatever. This is why we revise it, right? This is great. So this is great. Let's copy it, and then I'll bring it over to the narrative, and we will revise it as needed. The Collector of Adlaze. I'm going to rephrase this. Brings them to the doorstep of the Collector. And for whatever reason, no one bothers to ask his name. A little bit of sass in there. I had my chatbots output to a file as things were introduced, then imported for the start of the next session for continuity. Yeah, that's great. I don't know how to automate that, basically. So we have, like, I'm doing that manually, basically. If there's a way to do that automatically, let me know. For whatever reason, I guess there is a reason. It's in the hurry of the situation and the haste of the situation. No one bothers to ask his name. By the way, chat, y'all can turn this into a game session if you want to. Just going to throw that out there, even though actually I'd rather not. The collector, an elderly elf, right, so this was all good. A local elven healer skilled in nature magic might aid in the resurrection with the tomb's assistance. The collector offers the use of the tomb. Let's see. To Eidolon's group, conditional on their assistance with an important task. The collector asks the group to obtain a rare herb called Eloria's Whisper. Eloria's Whisper from the nearby Whispering Grove. Eidolon accepts. Eidolon eagerly accepts. Without consulting the team. Eidolon eagerly accepts feeling no need to consult his team. As the group contemplates the new quest, Eidolon presents a In turn, Eidolon presents the magical teapot he received from Jacob the merchant. In turn, Eidolon presents the magical teapot he received from Jacob the merchant. The collector identifies it. Yeah. So we're definitely going to need to do that. Let's roll the art style. Use the art style of expressionism. Sorry, not impressionism. That's going to be cool with stained glass. Let's see what Leonardo does here. See, the Leonardo real-time generation is a neat feature, but I feel it's sort of mid. Maybe that one, huh? Okay. Illustrative. What does that mean? Okay, let's add it. Illustrative. That one looks kind of interesting. Ooh, all right, let's do this one. We're not going to keep all of these, but they're options, you know? Okay, so we have those options, and let's see what GPT-4 came up with. Whoa! See, DALL-E that GPT-4 uses, its art is really awesome. Now, Leonardo's art is really awesome too. When you use like the real Leonardo model and not like the quick model, I think that looks cool. I'm thinking about making a Reddit group where we can like basically post these images and then vote about if we want to make them cards. Okay. I think we were pretty much happy with chapter 8, right? An elderly elf, healing teas. Let's see if we can get a little bit more color there. The teapot has a seemingly endless capacity to produce tea, but it requires, so this is, I think this is better. We're going to get a little bit more meat on the bone there. The collector examines the teapot closely, muttering incantations and performing a series of intricate gestures. After a moment of concentration, he reveals that the teapot has the magical ability to produce tea. It is enchanted with a charm of endless refreshment, so that it can produce a variety of teas without need for without need for the input of organic material other than water. Further, it will purify even dirty water that is used. Further, it will make a high quality tea with even dirty or low quality water at an increased magical cost. It can produce healing tea, tea that is an antidote to certain poisons, and a tea to aid in sleep. It can produce a few flavors of healing tea, a tea that is an antidote to certain poisons, and a tea to aid in sleep. The teapot has a seemingly endless capacity to produce tea, but it requires proper care and respect for its magic to continue functioning. There you go. That's a little bit more. After a moment of concentration, he reveals that the teapot has the magical ability to produce tea. I love that. All right, cool. The chapter closes with the team preparing to venture into the Whispering Grove, their resolve strengthened by the collector's guidance and the potential of new allies in the village of Adlays. And let's see, let's not say that. And the potential of new possibilities stemming from Adlays. Just say N. Potential of new possibilities in Adlays. Let's just leave it there. That works. Okay, so now we have chapter 8. Will we go for chapter 9? Is there enough material to write out the chapter? So what happened next is that Tank rested for a day. Yeah, Tank regroups with the guild. Valor is notably absent. I think we can do like part of chapter 9, but I think we're going to need to amend it. Till now, chapter 9, the story of what happens to Tank after the Crimson Vanguard returns to the town of Echoes with the wandering, whatever they're called, wandering. Wanderers. Yeah. How many chapters are in a book? 10 or 20 chapters? I feel like you definitely want more than 10 chapters, right? Oh my gosh, no one wants to give an answer. I hate that. Give me an answer. After the Crimson Vanguard's return to the town of Echoes, accompanied by the Echoing Vale, Tank finds himself at a crossroads, the town bustling with life. GPT's ability to generate in the style of a TCG illustration worked pretty well, along with a reprompt to style, stained glass illustrative approach. 30 to 50 for a novel. Thanks, Robert. I think we'll do less than 50. Yeah, maybe around 30. Maybe not less than 15. And I think not more than 35. What would be the average there? 25. Yeah. That sounds good. Maybe even less, because it's going to be a book series. How many play sessions make a book? I'd like to get them to defeat the second level, or maybe the third level. I think that will be a good cutoff for the first book. Okay, let's read through this. This is really good, but it's not written in a narrative style. Okay, this is good. Maybe it just needs to be a longer chapter. A period of rest, unexpected news, celestial event, renewed purpose. Also, the timeline here is kind of messed up. Thane's decision happens down here. That's okay. We can let's do 3 of these at a time. Let's add more detail. First, expand on these 3 items. First, expand on these 3 items, turning the description into a fantasy novel writing style. As the guild reconvenes, Tank participates in discussion about their next move. The absence of Valor weighs heavily on the guild. Yeah, it's messed up because that happened in the next morning. That's okay. There was a day of rest. A period of rest. Oh, okay, here we go. Are you running this as a personal GPT? No, I tried it. It performs very poorly. It performs very poorly. So working in GPT-4 itself has much higher performance. In the future, maybe it will be a personal GPT, but it doesn't. It just doesn't work. In the wake of their return, the Crimson Guard, alongside the Wanderers of the Echoing Vale, found solace in the familiar embrace of the town of Echoes. For Tank, the respite was tranquil harbor in the storm of their recent endeavors. The town, with its cobblestone paths and warm hearths, offered a much-needed reprieve from the rigors of their journey. Days passed in gentle languor, filled with the simple joys of rest and camaraderie. Tank, often a silent observer, found himself lost in thought, his mind meandering through the labyrinth of his experience. The clangor of battle seemed a distant echo. Cool. I don't like this one, but that's okay. Chapter 9, and this will be like finding Valor. Oh, thanks for the follow. The search for Valor. I think that works. Let's grab this and then reword it. Amidst the tranquility, whispers of unrest and change began to ripple through the town. Tank hears murmurs of political upheaval in far off, capitals. Oh, thank you for the likes. Tales of strife and discord that seem to cast long shadows across the land. Let's give a particular example. Let's say that a particular region he hears about, places. So we have Etheria, Dragonica, Obsidia, Old Pillar, Rayfin. There's some missing places here. There's Olympia. There's Olympia. There's the kingdoms. How many kingdoms are there? Was it 3? Maybe it's in the README. Lore. Regional lore. Yeah, these are the regional lore. Oops. Oh, oops. Yeah, so the Dwarven Stronghold, I guess that is related to Rayfin. It's like the edge of Rayfin. Okay, here we go. Elder Glen. This is just some random fight. That's fine. The Prophets and Oracles. Dragonica, Rayfun, Merfolk Oracle. That's right. Hidden in the Ocean. We already know about the Coast of Echoes, so I think it's fine to know that. And let me bring up the map while we're at it. I think we kind of already know that there's ocean outside of the Coast of Echoes. There's Etheria. Here's the Forest of Echoes. So this is the Coast of Echoes. Yep. Here's the Forest of Echoes, kind of. It's missing the mountains over here. Yeah, this is, I think, a great picture of the Forest of Echoes. And so, there is, when you head northeast, yeah, it's a little messed up. It's a little messed up, actually, because the mountains should be on this side of the lake. I guess they can be on both sides of the lake, but the thing is, like, let's say there are mountains here. Let's say there are mountains on both sides of the lake. Then does the rest of the story work? And so this would be the place where they fight the Shadow Stalker then. I think it works. I think that works. So what's the name of this place? The Whispering Glade, Shadow Stalker. The Whispering Woods. Okay, so Obsidian, under the Forest of Echoes, we have the Lake of Whispers, the Town of Echoes. There's a place called the Forest of Echoes inside of there. There's the Whispering Woods. So here's the region, and then these are the subregions. We have the lake, the town, the forest, and the Whispering Woods. So we have the lake, the town, the forest, and there's the crossroads of the elements. That's right. Crossroads of the elements. There is Adlace. So in this picture, if you follow the road down, there's a crossroads over here, and then Adlace is to the east of that, and then further is the mountains. Okay, and so that kind of jives with this basically. The difference here would be, here we're showing Whispering Woods, Lake Mountain, and here we're showing Whispering Woods, and then like a town to the northwest. Hey chat, let me know if you have a preference here. We can do some world building. What exists to the northwest? That's a great question. What exists to the northwest of the Whispering Woods? Basically, the answer is not canonical, not non-canonical so far. It could be another town. It could be another town or the lake. All right, so I'm posting that question to the gaming channel of the Latterly Discord. Oh, Robert says a den of something. I don't think so. So there could be a den inside of the forest, but looking at these maps, so we have 3 maps of the Forest of Echoes. And we know that when you head northeast out of town, you get to the Whispering Woods. So here, oh, and here's the mountains to the east. So with this map, the answer would be the lake. And then on the far side of the lake, yeah, I don't know. None of these are all disagreeing with each other. So that's what we need someone to decide. So I wouldn't want to pick up something random. I would want to pick between one of these images so that we can make one of these more official. So here we would say to the northwest of the Whispering Woods is a community. Maybe it's an extension of Adlace. Maybe this is all Adlace. So here's actually this is going due east. This is not going south. So that couldn't be Adlace. This map is fairly illegal actually, because there's no east gate to the town. There's no east gate to the town. There's a southern gate and a northeastern gate. Still, if we crop it, it could be allowable. Let's look at the whole super region of Obsidia. So here's the super region of Obsidia. By a super region, I mean that it includes 3 regions. Oh, there's the Obsidian Forest is also in Obsidia. Yeah, here's this. So here's Obsidia. You can see the Coast of Echoes to the south. You can see the Forest of Echoes here centrally. There's the Town of Echoes on the lake. And everything's a bit jostled, right? Because these AI tools don't follow precisely. And then there's Obsidian Forest in the northwest, and farther off beyond the lake, you can see mountains. If you head this direction towards the coast from town, here's the crossroads. So I guess this would be Adlace, but the geography here is messed up because why wouldn't you go southeast? Still, I guess the bigger point is that there is 2 larger towns to the east of the region, basically. Here's the town of Echoes. You can see the southern gate and the eastern gate. And what about all of Evergreen? There was a picture somewhere that had like basically all of Evergreen. Okay, I guess it's not official yet, huh? Oh, it's an unofficial map. Really, all of these are unofficial. So this is supposed to be Eastern Evergreen. This could be even Eastern of the Forest of Echoes, couldn't it? Or Eastern Obsidia. So here's Obsidia. Does it match well enough if we say that this is Eastern Obsidia? I almost wish I could compare them side by side. Okay, so here's Obsidia. And we're looking at this east side. And the question is, does this other part match any of the east side of there? So let's see. Is there a mountain anywhere along the east? Not really, not unless it's further northeast. Or the southern tip here. I think it feels fairly forced. Ah, so this is the one that is maybe Evergreen. And then right there in the middle would be the Forest of Echoes. Or down here could be the Forest of Echoes. It needs to come to a point, though, because you can see the point here. So this could be Obsidia. Could this be Obsidia? One, two, three, four. Looks like there's 4 candidate locations for Obsidia. If these images are both online, can GP4 integrate them? I haven't seen it be able to do that. No, unfortunately. I wish it could. Hello.
Oh, is iPad in here?
Yeah, it's on the treadmill. All right, so we'll go with this, and then I'll ask in the chat. Spot the Forest of Echoes on this chart. All right, cool. We move that over here. I think we're going to delete this, cancel this. You're canceled. The battle map looks awesome. This one, you're canceled. Subregion Old Pillar, town, urban unknown. Yeah, we can pick this as one of the capital cities. So let's go and look at Obsidia again. So here's Obsidia, and then this is one of the capital cities, we'll say. Cool. So that would be in the Coast of Echoes. Oh, don't close. So here we are in places. Obsidia. Obsidia is going to have Eastgate, which is this large town. It has the small Bearkin village. Create a name for a small Bearkin village. Can we argue that these people are traveling? Yeah, I think so. No. They're sort of rural. A small rural Bearkin village. Bronze Paw Hamlet. There we go. So this place will be called Bronze Paw. Bronze Paw Hamlet. The Northern Mountains. So there will be three settlements northeast of the three other settlements northeast of the Whispering Woods. Three other settlements northeast of the Whispering Woods. And the region is bounded to the north and east by mountains, and to the south and west by ocean or sea. Okay, so we're bounded to, actually it's bounded to the south by sea and to the north by ocean. The region is bounded to the north by mountains and to the south by sea. By ocean or sea. Let me know if you have a strong opinion, chat, if the south is ocean or sea. For now, I'll leave it ambiguous. Okay, so this is basically going to be Obsidia. The Coast of Echoes, the Forest of Echoes, Obsidian Forest, Eastgate, Bronze Paw Hamlet, three other settlements in the northeast of the Whispering Woods. Is there anything noticeable to the west of the Obsidian Forest? There's just like an exit, I don't know, some sort of exit from the area on the west. Okay. So amidst the tranquility, whispers of unrest, change begin to ripple through the town. Tank hears murmurs of political upheaval in far-off capitals. tales of strife and discord that seem to cast long shadows over the land. Eastgate is a notable major city of near proximity. Eastgate is a notable major city of near proximity involved in such rumors. At the easternmost, is that fair to say, easternmost? At the southeasternmost. How would you describe this this place right here? Easternmost. Easternmost part of the Coast of Echoes. Yeah, I think that's fair. And then this place can have a different name. So here's the Coast of Echoes down here. Forest of Echoes, Obsidian Forest, and then that'll have some other name up there. Eastgate is a notable major city of near proximity involved in such rumors at the easternmost part of the Coast of Echoes. Eastgate is the nearest of such major cities. Eastgate is the nearest of such major cities. Residing at the easternmost part of the Coast of Echoes. Eastgate is the nearest of such major cities residing at the easternmost part of the Coast of Echoes. Cool. Mixed with these harbingers of turmoil were reports of unusual happenings in the Whispering Woods. Travelers spoke of trees that moved of their own accord and of shadows that danced in the absence of light. Such mysteries beckoned to Tank, igniting a spark of adventure in his heart. The woods, with their enigmatic allure, seemed to call out to him, promising secrets and wonders yet undiscovered. I mean, not really. It's like, no, it's a fairly mundane place, but okay. Trees that move of their own accord. We can leave that. And shadows that dance in the absence of light. Cool. Let's go with that. And then here we have the celestial event. Let's grab this. Absence of light.
I made a red Thai curry soup with some garlic naan. Do you want some?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Other grand rumors concern the interpretation of celestial events and the heavens themselves. Astronomers and mages, so they say. So the rumor goes. Astronomers and mages, so the rumor goes, speak of a rare alignment of the stars, a convergence that promised to bathe the world in a cascade of cosmic energy. Tink listened to their prognostications with a sense of wonder. The event, they said, would amplify magical forces, opening doorways to untold power and possibilities. Such an occurrence was more than a mere astronomical spectacle. It was a harbinger of change, a tide that would lift the destinies of those who knew how to harness its power. All right, that's good. Cool. So that gets us to these three. 1, 2, 3. And then we want to do now elaborate on the next morning, Thane's decision. Cool. I think we can cut out this blue-eyed elven rogue one. Thank you. So I think there's basically nothing here. Just pictures of Eidolon. Pretty sure I already have these, but that's fine. Yeah, we already have these. Okay. So we can get rid of this thread. Okay, is there an interesting tidbit here? So this is back when Yeah, this is a good tidbit. Great. So we'll come back and incorporate that before we close that. Preparation for departure. We're working with these 3 bits basically at the moment to try and consolidate our lore. Okay, so first of all, Nightfall and Visions. Let's just grab this whole thing and then we'll edit as needed. GPT-4, yep, we're using GPT-4, that's right. We'll get rid of the this one because we're gonna incorporate it momentarily. Okay, so here we are, Nightfall and Visions. So Tank listened to the tavern rants. They're not just the tavern. I just don't need that sentence at all. Other grand rumors concern the interpretation of celestial events in the heavens themselves. Astronomers and mages, so the rumor goes, speak of a rare alignment of the stars, a convergence that promised to bathe the world in a cascade of cosmic energy. I'm going to say who mentioned this rumor? So someone's going to be skeptical. Oh, Kalen died. Oops, not him. Kale. Kale's the guy. Hey, you experimented with it, giving you choices of 3 to 4 story arcs to pursue. Yeah, we actually have multiple arcs in the game. So if you go to ariastale.com, you can go to the narrative and you can see that there are 4 arcs. 4 arcs. By the way, if you you can play by comment, by the way. So click TikTok. You'll go to the official Aria's Tale TikTok. You can see there's a pinned video. And that is a different arc that you can play right here. So yeah, that's a great idea, Robert. And there are multiple arcs ongoing. The roll for the Gossiper's response to Kale's skepticism is 4. The score does not meet the moderate difficulty, indicating the Gossiper's response is neither particularly convincing nor witty. They just got wrecked by Kale. Other grand rumors concern the interpretation of celestial events in the heavens themselves. Astronomers and mages. Tank overhears a gossiper report to Kale. Other grand rumors concern the interpretation of celestial events in the heavens themselves. Astronomers and mages. Tank overhears. A gossiper reports to Kale. Astronomers and mages, a gossiper reports to Kale. Speak of a rare alignment of the stars, a convergence that promised. Tank laughs as he hears Kale retort. You don't really believe that nonsense, do you? The gossiper seems somewhat taken aback. The gossiper, a low-ranking fighter in the Crimson Vanguard. The gossiper, a low-ranking fighter in the Crimson Vanguard, seems somewhat taken aback and struggles to come up with a compelling argument. Well, you never know with these things. Strange times. That's awesome. They just got wrecked. Okay, so yeah, Kale wrecks this dude, and then they go to sleep. What happens? As night descended on the town, a cloak of the stars enveloped the sky, and the world slipped into the realm of quietude. Doesn't that sound great? Sometimes I just need some quietude. You know what I mean? I've just been showing my face for an hour, haven't I? I'm so sorry, YouTube. Oh my good gracious. That's like top 10 worst stream mistakes I think I've ever done. But it's not top 3. We've done worse things, haven't we? Okay, here we are. Tank laughs as he hears Kale retort. As night descended on the town of Echoes, a cloak of the stars enveloped the sky, and the world slipped into the realm of quietude. It was in the arms of slumber that visions began to dance behind his closed eyes. Once again. Tank is just like a dream magnet, and he just has visions all the time, whether he's awake or asleep. In his dream, he found himself in an ethereal forest, bathed in the silvery luminescence of moonlight. It wasn't just an ethereal forest, it was the forest of echoes. Stood a shadowy figure, ethereal and ghostly, its face obscured, yet its gaze piercing into Tank's very soul. Found himself once again in the ethereal forest of echoes. He stood in the hollow. Is that just a country word, or is that a real word? What is a holler? Nope, that's not what I meant. What is a holler in a field? What is a hollow? A low wooded area such as a copse? Is meadow. Meadow is probably the word I'm trying to think of. He stood in the meadow where the dark paladin had fallen. bathed in the silvery luminescence of moonlight. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, and a distant haunting melody wove through the trees. We don't need the melody part. That's fine. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy, guiding his steps deeper into the heart of the woods. Nope, he's already there. The air was thick with an otherworldly energy. There, in a moonlit clearing, stood a shadowy figure, ethereal and ghostly. Once again, I don't like the 100 repetitions of the word ethereal. Tank found himself once again in the forest of echoes, this time at night, and the woods full of mist. He stood in the meadow where the dark paladin had fallen and bathed. Cool. With a silent gesture, the figure pointed to the heavens where a constellation shifted and morphed, forming an intricate and mysterious symbol. Cool. Tank awoke to the first light of dawn, the remnants of his dream lingering like morning mist. The vision of the forest, cryptic constellation, clung to his thoughts as he prepared for the day. Cool. That's not helpful there. As the guild gathered, Tank shared his nocturnal experience. What? Let's get rid of that. Where's the part where you say, hey, Valor is missing? That's kind of a big deal. The vision of the forest and clung to his thoughts as he prepared for the day. He gathered with the, he reported for duty among the guild, or like with the guild. As usual, he reported for duty. He gathered with, let's say this, he gathered with the guild for the usual morning meeting, noticing a tense tension in the guild noticing unusual tension in the group. Two recruits spoke up, confirming the story that Valor had been seen heading toward the Forest of Echoes. Possibly with others. Lysandra gathered half of the group to search that area, and Thane took another group but Thane decided to take another group, including Tank, to the Whispering Woods. Would he struggle to recall hang on to the symbol more he wakes? He did not. I mean, that seems like a reasonable narrative thing to do, but we already played out the session and that didn't actually happen. Maybe in a later session he'll recall it. The time for the guild came to make a strategic. Thane, entrusted with leading one of the searches, stood before his companions, weighing the options. For Thane's party, the Whispering Woods called. That's a cool way to say that. That's better than what I was saying. Lysandra gathered half of the group to search that area. For Thane's party, the Whispering Woods called, including Tank. For Thane's party, including Tank. I think that makes sense. For Thane's party, including Tank, actually it was all of the spearmen of the shield bearers, including Tank and all the former and all of the spearmen of the former shield bearers. For Thane's party, including Tank and all of the spearmen of the former shield bearers, the Whispering Woods called. The mysteries of the woods, with their enigmatic nature and recent unusual occurrences, the mysteries of the woods presented a path. Let's just say this. The mysteries of the woods presented a path rife with potential discoveries and challenges. Thane, recognizing the value of covering more ground and the allure of the woods' secrets, made his decision. Okay, and then we can get rid of this sentence. As Thane's party assembled at the edge of town, ready to step into the wilderness, a mix of anticipation and resolve filled the air. Actually, it goes further because they went into the Whispering Woods and saw 3 bears and then left. Update this section. Note that Thane's party arrived at the Whispering Woods and saw a few bears fighting, but nothing else. But nothing else. Disappointed, they planned to head back to town. Or let's not say disappointed. The search complete. They planned to head. Actually, you know what? They might not have planned to head back to town yet. The search complete. Thane now weighs the decision about whether to head back to town or venture to the other side of the forest. Let's go ahead and ask, what does he do? If he ventures to the other side of the forest, we can answer the question about what's over there. We can go ahead and resolve that in the canon. He decides to lead the party to explore the other side of the woods. Awesome. Thane's group comes to the edge of the whispering woods. Which edge do they come to, and what do they see? 1. They come to the north or northwest side of the woods. They come to the east. Let's go back to our image. They continue their trajectory north. Coming to the north side of the woods. They pivot from to avoid the bear fight. They pivot east or west. Just pick an answer and don't provide any further narrative development. Just pick a cardinal direction. Thane's group pivots and heads toward the west side of the Whispering Woods. Okay, great. So let's go to our image here. Not that one, the one that is for Obsidia. Okay. So they head west. Digpen, did that only have 2 cardinal choices for the randomizer? Yeah, that's what I saw. So I don't know if it decided, just like if it just decided not to pick 1 and then it rolled on 2. But let me know. Should I ask it to re-roll? I'll ask it to re-roll if the chat wants me to. And I'll force it to include north. For the moment, I'm going to assume that the GPT picked 2 and then it only rolled east or west. But I will I'll change it if the chat requests. Okay. So they went from town, they went northeast. See, the geography is screwed up here. Let me look at my other comment. Might say they decided to avoid the fight. Comment might say they decided to avoid the fight. Yeah, after avoiding the bear fight. So one thing they could do is head west and see the water. That's one thing they could do. And let's look at the other maps that we're trying to resolve. So here, they would also go west and see the water. Here, they would also go west and see the water. Basically, there is always the water to their west. What about in this case? Yeah, in every case, there's water to their west. Ooh, but here's an interesting thing. From the water, what do they see when they look further? From the water, what do they see if they look further? So here, they might peer all the way and see that small village over there. They might be able to peer that far. The question is whether they see mountains, I think. You know what? I'm going to go with the idea that this is just the proportions are off because they should see mountains if they look far enough. Well, let's see. Here, there's no mountain. Here, there's no mountain. Here, there is mountain. And here, there is eventually mountain, but there's quite the gap there, isn't there? So I guess we can resolve these all by saying that there is mountain. It's just a matter of how far it is, basically. So they to their west, so they are in this forest, and but the thing is sort of turned, but whatever. So it should be to their west, but we're going to say to their north, or let's say that they're here, and they're peering towards that town over there, and that's going to be the Bearkin village. They don't know that, but that's what it is. Here, they're peering to the west, but those mountains are actually much further back, and this land here is much bigger. And then there's mountains out there that you just can't see in this image. And then there's mountains out there that you just can't see in this image. That's okay. So the question is, can they see the village? In this case, it looks like the village is right there on the edge. In this case, you could maybe make the case that they can see it over there. Here, the proportions are off. Here, they probably cannot see it from here. Probably cannot see it from here. Okay, I actually don't think. I think we can probably resolve it without asking GPT-4 to resolve it. If we just look at the images, you can basically make an interpretation that works. Okay, heading west, the group comes to the edge of the Lake of Whispers. If they follow the bank of the water south, they will eventually come to the town of Echoes, which borders the lake. Do they head north to new regions, back to the forest, or south along the water's edge. I like how they're modeling Thane's choices as just like a random roll. Thane's like, I don't know, man. Okay. So Thane basically hesitates, and then we can wait for the next play session. Unless chat, if y'all want to make the decision, go ahead. You can go ahead and pick a character to speak up if you want to influence the choice. Otherwise, we'll wait for the next play session, and the players can break the indecision that Thane is having.
Okay, you know, when I tell you give me 1 minute, the more you do that, the longer it's going to take me to do this. And then it doesn't even. I need 1 minute of uninterrupted. Okay? Thank you.
Ursine inhabitants. I like that. Instead of 3 bears, it's Ursine inhabitants. That's pretty cool. Okay. Does anyone here have knowledge of the whereabouts of Valor? 2 recruits, their faces solemn, spoke up. They had heard tell of Valor heading toward the heart of the Forest of Echoes. Yep. I liked the way it was put before, though. For Thane's party, the Whispering Woods called. I liked that. Okay, so let's reconcile these 2 paragraphs so that I can keep the Whispering Woods called. 2 recruits, their faces solemn, spoke up. They had heard tell of Valor heading toward the heart of the Forest of Echoes, a place shrouded in mystery and darkness. We don't need to say that because by now the reader is very familiar with this place. Lysandra, determined and focused, gathered half of the guild to search that area. For Thane's party, the Whispering Woods called. Basically, the way it was already written is better. For Thane's party, cool.
Hey, that's too loud, guys.
For Thane's party, the Whispering Woods called. Cool, I think this looks good. I think we leave it right there. Good. So now we're up to chapter 9. Okay, so here's Aria's arc. We're staging that. Docs, chapter 9. And what I want to do now is abridge, update the abridged narrative. Consider these GPT instructions. I will provide updated narrative and ask you to update the abridged or summary narrative found in the instructions. Okay. Below is the detail narrative. Please compile the abridged narrative from it. Then we'll roll for art after this. The Clash of Titans and Unification. Is that what it's called? Cool. Looks good to me. So here we are in chapter 1. It's actually shorter than it was previously. That's interesting. 1, 2, 3. Cool, so we got more chapters and less tokens. That's great news. Let's go ahead and measure the tokens. $23.93 with comment. 2307 without. $23.93 including comment. 2307. Great. Okay, so we have the new abridged instruct. Push that. We will roll for art, then we will clean up the places. So the art roll. Here's the get art roll, create random prompt. We can see it goes through chapter 6 here. And we need to update that to go through chapter 9 now. Six, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to cheat the roll a little bit. I'm going to roll until it picks a new scene in one of the new chapters. So what was the... Yeah, so I want to see a 7, 8, or a 9. Okay, so this is the localhost one. We're going to do an art roll. 118. Okay, cool. So the first one works. Draw an excerpt from Calum's arc. Oh, and Lunara's arc. All right. So we got to update those. So here is Calum's arc. Open in a new tab. So here I will say summarize the events that have taken place in a fantasy novel style. In the mystical realms of Aria's tale, within the luminescent depths of the crystal caverns. I don't know about the word "the," but yeah, in the luminescent depths of crystal caverns. the tale of Calum. Calum unfolds. Born under the rare alignment of celestial bodies. Calum's journey begins in a world where the boundaries between reality and vision blur. So how do we know that? I don't remember being told, maybe we're being told now. I don't remember being told that he was born under the rare alignment of celestial bodies. I think we're going to revise this a bit, but let's start with it. Yeah. How much volume is there here? This is not much volume at all. I think we can get more detail. Maybe not. I guess a lot of this is just technical material. Yeah, it's mostly a battle encounter, isn't it? Okay. Calum. Calum, the boy who lived. He was supposed to be killed. He was supposed to be killed, actually. Sure, let's call him Calum, a boy who lived. I think it's just because he's a celestial is why they're saying that. So we'll hold on to that lore, but I don't know if we need to declare that right now. Or I guess we do. Because we're going to have to explain, like, why does he glow? Why does he glow? Born under the rare alignment of celestial bodies. Born under the rare alignment of... Born under a rare alignment of moons. Calum's celestial body glows in a way that is entirely unfortunate, entirely counter to his goal of concealment. Calum's celestial body glows in a way that is entirely counter to his goal of concealment, but advantageous to the degree that he can navigate such a would-be midnight cavern. as if he in possession of 7 arms, each with a fresh torch. Caleb creeps through the crystal caverns.
Dad,
Hey,
how much minutes are you gonna be here?
I can be done in like the next 5 minutes.
You said the next 5.
Caleb creeps through the crystal caverns. Oh, there's almost like a onomatopoeia there. What would I replace through thee with? Caleb creeps. I'm going to say Caleb creeps the crystal caverns. Caleb creeps the crystal caverns, bow on his back and stress on his forehead. Born under a rare alignment of moons, Caleb's celestial body glows in a way that is entirely counter to his goal of concealment. But advantageous to the degree, but advantageous in that he can navigate such a would-be midnight cavern as if he were in possession of 7 arms, each with a fresh torch. His focus on mission is questionable. His mind is clouded. His focus on the mission is questionable. His focus on the mission is questionable. His mind clouded with fragmented memories, glimpses of starlit skies, and whispers of a destiny yet to be uncovered. Or is he just talking to himself? Or is he just talking to himself? Whose voice is that anyway? I don't know if this is grammatically correct. Is this grammatically correct? Oops, sorry, my bad. Here's a revised version. His focus on the mission is questionable. Whose? That's the part that I was messing up. With silver white hair that flows like the Milky Way and his eyes deep blue with flecks of silver, he stands tall and slender, an aura of starlight tracing his every move. We don't know that it's starlight. We already talked about the light anyway. He stands tall and slender, but hunched as he walks, as if a good hunch is the difference between as if a good hunch is the difference between a successful adventurer and as if a good hunch is the missing ingredient in his recipe for success. Okay. Caleb encounters the formidable crystalline spiders. Despite his effort, the spiders find him. Despite his effort, the spiders find him. As the crystalline spiders, as a small group, how many were there? I think there were 4. There were 4 or 5. 5 of them. Caleb readies Starlight, his trusted magical bow, and lets out a volley. 1 spider less. But the survivors strike fiercely. Strike undeterred. Despite his effort, the spiders find him. I want to make sure that we call them crystal spiders again. I guess not, so we better specify that they're crystalline up front. Despite his effort, the crystal spiders find him, 5 of them. Caleb readies Starlight, his trusted magical bow, and lets out a volley. 1 spider less, but the survivors, strike undeterred. As an aside, oh, did you just comment that? 47. I'm sorry, I think I ignored your comment for a while. Sorry about that, Digpen. As an aside, have you tried creating your world map with Incarnate, or are you doing all AI? Let me, the answer is no to both. Like there's a third missing option, which is that I've done a combination of AI and tools, but I haven't looked at Incarnate. You know what? I'm sorry. This is a visited link. Maybe I did use Incarnate. Wow. And you're able to draw the mountains. I think I visited this and then I didn't use it. Why did I not use it? Does it have a price? Is that the reason? Pricing. Also, what is the license on this? I think I avoided it because of the concerns about the license, although I didn't really look deeply into it. Oh, you see that there's commercial license. So the pro yearly, although $25 a year is a steal, isn't it? So maybe I'll look into it. I have not looked into it. I think I avoided it due to the commercial license, but maybe it's about time to use such a tool. I'm preferring to use AI, by the way, because Aria's Tale in general is supposed to be an AI experiment. But here we can say, Incarnate. Thanks for bringing that up. In Incarnate Pro with commercial license. So I've used a combination of AI and non-AI tools, but my preference is to the AI tools if they can make it work. Despite his effort, the crystal spiders find him, 5 of them. Caleb readies Starlight, his trusted magical bow, and lets out a volley. 1 spider less, but the survivors strike undeterred. Undeterred. Did I spell that word correctly? Ha! I'm so good at spelling. Yeah. The best speller ever. Each arrow he releases glows with cosmic energy, illuminating the dark caverns and revealing his foes. Despite the overwhelming odds, Caleb's agility and art. No, this is poorly explained. We need to say that he should have died. Note that in the battle, Caleb technically should have died. And he only survived by a miracle of getting a second chance. So let's rephrase this. Rephrase it to drive the point home that he is on the brink of death, is momentarily unconscious, sees his life flash before his eyes, and for some mysterious reason, he gains a bit of energy back. You can rephrase in the way that makes most sense, but you get the idea of emphasis. Also, I just put that on the wrong. I'm so dumb. I put this in the wrong place. Let me copy this. This was the wrong thread. Sorry. Each arrow loosed by Caleb dances with cosmic energy, casting radiant light through the shadowy expanse of the crystal caverns. It doesn't need to be capital C. It's just caverns, crystal caverns, lowercase c. Unmasking his otherwise hidden adversaries. And this is still not put well. In a battle teetering on the edge of impossibility, let's replace this with self-talk or a soliloquy. What does Caleb say to himself, showing his imminent utter defeat, his imminent defeat? And I don't know how to spell imminent. Sorry about that. Whoa, we're going full Shakespeare now. How swift my end approaches. We're not gonna say that it's a soliloquy. In the midst of the hiring bot, in the midst of imminent defeat. Two M's, that's the problem. I'm so bad at spelling, I'm the worst. Okay, despite his effort, the crystal spiders find him. 5 of them. Caleb readies Starlight, his trusted magical bow, and lets out a volley. 1 spider less, but the survivors strike undeterred. A cut, a bruise, a miss, another shot, and another miss. What has changed? A moment ago, the tide was with him. Another cut, and Caleb, the recipient. This isn't going well. Another cut, this time more severe. Caleb is the recipient. This isn't going well. What do you call it when you get Caleb is flanked? A moment later, Caleb is flanked. He observes something new about this opponent. The ones he read about and the ones he heard about. The ones he read about and prepared to face. But only now has he felt them. Okay. The second downed spider rises again. Missing a leg, but apparently still capable of continuing. The second down spider rises again, missing a leg, but apparently still capable of continuing. Okay, so he does this actual soliloquy, which is pretty hardcore. That's awesome. And a fleeting moment of stillness. In a fleeting moment of stillness as consciousness slips away. This teetering word, I really don't like it. Can we have a synonym for teetering, please? Though gravely weakened. Stirring back to consciousness. Returning to consciousness from the precipice of the afterlife. Returning to consciousness from the precipice of the afterlife. He manages to strike one of the it manages to strike another spider. A pop of adrenaline hits, sending some kind of minor shockwave around him, enough to harm his previous, enough to harm the spider that flanked him. It seems to have harmed that one a lot. In the aftermath, Calum takes a moment to rest, leaning against a glowing crystal. He doesn't have the energy to harvest the large crystals from the wall, but he collects some of the crystal fragments from the fallen spiders and recoups some of his lost arrows. That's really it. That's really the whole chapter. Okay, cool. Here's the final narrative form. Based on this narrative, let's go get the art roll. Draw a scene. Okay, cool. And that will wrap up today's stream. Thanks for being here, everyone. Let's see the result of this art. And that will be the end of the stream today. Dun, dun, dun. It's like flashing. It's like, show me. So much anticipation. Can I download it? Do I need to refresh the page? Boop. There we go. Whoa, that looks awesome, eh? Maybe. I don't know. I think it looks cool. All right. Anyway, thanks for being here, and see you next time.